Hello friends, Matt here with Peppercoat Barbecue, and today I will be using the Lava Lock FireDial for a long cook here on the Weber Kettle. This is the first time that I've used this on a long cook, so it'll kind of be like my first try and review and to let you know how this works. I'll also be using the S1 and the Breezo. You may have saw the video a couple of weeks ago where I was able to attach the Breezo with no drilling, and I'll post that video at the end. We'll be cooking a 7.5 pound Boston butt, making some delicious pulled pork barbecue. I'm going to show you the setup, walk you through it, and it's going to be a good day. So I'm not going to go over the complete setup for the Breezo today. You can check out that video, but it's only like a 5-minute or less setup. Very easy to do, but you can see that I still have some aluminum tape over my intake holes. I have the Breezo in here, and this was from a cook a couple of days ago, so I just left it set up. I am going to use a fire brick today, and I'm going to place that right over top of where the Breezo is. That way hot coals and ash can't fall down into the Breezo. Now I can place my charcoal rack in here, and I have my charcoal rails set up here on the side. I want to keep all of that charcoal kind of in the center, and that is because that FireDial has the holes around the outside. So I want to focus my heat right here in the middle. Now before you light this, you want to make sure that your FireDial is going to lay in place. There we go. You want it touching all the way around. You don't want that lump charcoal having it humped up in here in the center where it's rocking back and forth. And you'll see why here in just a minute. This is good. Everything's level. We're going to go ahead and light this up. You want to light that on one side. That way it's going to burn across. It'll give you a nice, slow, controlled burn. And then you want to put your FireDial into place here. There you go. And I'm going to place a water pan right here in the middle of this because I got all that heat that's going to be directly under the pork butt. So I'm going to put the water pan here, and that's going to protect the bottom of that pork butt from all of that radiant heat, and it should keep a lot of moisture inside of the cooking environment. So at this point, you will notice that the water pan is setting higher than your brackets here that your rack sets on. So that causes an issue. I don't want to set the grill rack right down on the water pan. So I'm going to use a couple of fire brick. I'm going to put one on each end of my water pan right here. And then I will set my rack, my grill grate, on top of that. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you get this centered, because once you put the lid on here, it is going to come down and it's going to be very tight around here. This is going to sit right inside of the lid. So make sure that you get it centered. That way when you put your lid down, you're not tilting it up to one side. Now everything's set up. I've got the Breezo set on 250 degrees. So I'm just going to put my lid on, let it heat up. Now right now I have my vent on the Weber Kettle about halfway open here on the top. And I have the vent on the Breezo open just 2 or 3 clicks. It's only been 25 minutes. We're already up to that 250 degree mark. Right now we're sitting at 253. And that's one of the great things about using one of these small pits for these small cooks. 25 minutes and we're ready to throw it on. Now I'm going to get the pork butt out of the fridge. I seasoned this last night. You can use your favorite seasoning. I just used a mix of 25% sea salt, 25% Lowry seasoning salt, and then 50% black pepper. I placed the pork butt on here with the fat cap up because I have this water pan in here. If I was just putting it in here without the water pan, I definitely want that towards the heat or the diffuser plate since it is this close. But I have it up because I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of heat in this dome, and hopefully that will help render out that fat cap. And I have the water pan on the bottom side to protect it. One of the other things that I noticed is that the stem on this S1 is really long, and it's only about maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch away from that pork butt. If you were trying to put 2 on here, you may have to arrange it so that stem's not hitting it. It's close, it's not hitting. So I'm fine with it. Now my goal is to not check on this any more than I have to today. I want to know if this would work for an overnight cook. I may need to come out and adjust the vents occasionally. I'll let you know anything I have to do, but my goal is to not see this pork butt for at least 6 hours. So I'll let you know how that works out. I paused this fan when I took the lid off. I'm gonna go ahead and unpause that. So we're back to cooking, and yeah, I'll see you in about 6 hours. We're hitting that 6 hour mark, and I gotta tell you guys, I could not be more impressed with this setup. I have not touched anything for 6 hours. I will put the graph over here. This thing has rocked steady. I've not had it open. I've not adjusted anything. I've looked at the app a few times and thought, you know, maybe the alarms were not on. The highest I saw it all day was at 257. The lowest I saw it was about 30 minutes ago at like 238. And so, man, super setup using the S1, the Breezo, and this Lava Lock FireDial. So I want to open this up now, see what we have. We're at 6 hours. Typically when I'm smoking in the drum smoker on my Oklahoma Joe's Bronco, 6 hours is when I will pull it, wrap it, and finish it in the oven. We're gonna see what it looks like, make a decision. I wanna look and see what the charcoal looks like in here, and I may just finish it up here instead of the oven, depending on how much charcoal I have left. That's looking really good. Now, I knew that our water pan had went dry because I could hear it when I came out here. I could hear it sizzling when it was hitting the bottom of that pan. And really don't have, you know, a lot of rendering here on the fat cap. The internal temperature is up to 162, and that's okay. I mean, this is kind of what I would expect. The color's a little lighter than what I would expect. Getting just a little pullback on the bone over here. But I'm going to pull it off, wrap it, and we'll check out that charcoal. Now here comes the fun part. I have to disassemble this to see how much charcoal I have left. Oh, wow. Well, there's our answer. We're out of charcoal. I can't believe that we were holding that much heat. I am really surprised that we were still holding at 250 degrees. You can see the amount of charcoal that is left in there. You know, here in North Carolina where I live, there's an old saying that occasionally even the blind squirrel gets a nut. And I guess you can say I got a nut today. But you could do this for a longer cook. You could leave those charcoal rails out and fill this completely with charcoal, and then set this Lava Lock FireDial in here. And I'm going to guess with the extra charcoal, you're probably going to be able to go 9, maybe 10 hours on a cook. I don't know if you're going to stretch it any further than that or not. But for me, usually 6 hours is enough. Now with this one, it was a little light. It wasn't a lot of color. Maybe it could have went longer. I don't know. First time I've done this on the kettle. We'll see how it turns out. But for now, I'm just going to put it in the oven at 285 degrees until I reach an internal temp of 203 degrees. Then once it's done, we'll give it a taste test, and that will be the true comparison or the true test comparing this to the butts that I usually get off of the Oklahoma Joe's Bronco. It's going to be dark before that pork butt finishes up, so I just wanted to share a few things with you. I've had this FireDial off of the grill now so it can cool down so I can pick it back up. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed. Like I said, it worked really good distributing the heat, did a great job. I didn't know how it would perform. It's not a very thick metal that it is made out of. I was afraid that I might get some bowing or warping. I was afraid it might flex as it heats up. But even with the water pan setting on it, the fire brick was setting on it, there's no bowing, no warping. It's still nice and straight all the way across. So I'm not linked to Lava Lock in any way. I don't make any kind of commission, you know, but I would suggest this product. It seems to work really well. Total cook time was just over 8 hours, 6 hours on the grill, and then a couple hours in the oven, and it's been resting for another hour now. So let's get it unwrapped and see what we have. Overall, looks pretty good. Got a decent color on it. Didn't get the color that I usually get on the Oklahoma Joe Bronco. Definitely not the same outcome that we get on the offset. Fat cap, Not great rendering, but it got pretty good. Overall, it's nice and juicy, tender. Let's get it pulled apart and give it a taste. Overall, it looks pretty good. There's not quite as much of a smoke ring that I have when I'm cooking on the Oklahoma Joe's Bronco. Definitely not as much smoke ring as there is on an offset smoker. This fat cap here, even though it didn't get a lot of a bark on the bottom side, the fat cap did render out pretty well. And you can see here, here's a big piece of it I was able to pull off. So that'll be nice chopped up in the barbecue. But now it comes down to where the rubber meets the road. Let's give it a try. All right, so this one has me a little baffled here. And after some deliberation, and I had to get Miss Peppercoat to try it. She didn't want to be on camera, not camera ready tonight. But we both agree that this is a little drier than what we usually get. And that could be in the pork butt. May have nothing to do with the method and the way that it was smoked. You know, we had that water pan in there, so it may just be in the fat content in the pork butt. But the biggest thing for me and for her that was noticeable is the smoke flavor. I was expecting it to be much smokier than what it is in that small Weber Kettle. You know, with that low and slow fire smoldering in there. But it is a very, very light smoke flavor that I'm getting off of this. We both agree it's really good. I'm gonna try this a few other ways, and you leave me some comments. Tell me how you usually make your pork butts on the Weber Kettle. I'm open to try different things, but anyway, I'm gonna chop this up. We're gonna have some barbecue sandwiches, and I'll see you here next time on Peppercoat Barbecue.